came under attack from government military positions about 5 miles in that direction. Using eyewitness testimony and video taken on the day, we tried to piece together what happened. The filming started right here from this vantage point as the artillery shells landed just on the other side of the building. It's a day that ended with what's claimed to be a chemical weapons attack.
Allahu Akbar.
A local activist gave us this footage. He says it was taken as the shells landed. We can't verify these images, but all the videos you're going to see were apparently taken on the same day by different people we met. A helicopter was spotted high above the town. Eyewitnesses allege at least 2 canisters were dropped from it. They say it was shortly after they landed that casualties started to arrive at Sarakeb Hospital. 8 people were admitted, apparently with similar symptoms. They appear to be vomiting with breathing problems. The worst affected was Mariam Khatib. Relatives claim a device had landed in her garden. Videos appear to show her unconscious with constricted pupils. Doctors who treated her claim she had signs of exposure to chemical agents. The mother of 8 died later that day. Her daughter was filmed nearby. The video appears to show her tongue distended. She's frothing at the mouth. Her sons were also on the scene and say they had to be treated. Again, they apparently suffered respiratory and vision problems and appear to have constricted pupils. Mohammed is the eldest son. He says he'd tried to help his mother, but she collapsed in his arms.
It was a horrible, suffocating smell. You couldn't breathe at all. Your body would become really tired. You'd lose all senses. You'd feel like you were dead. You couldn't even see. I couldn't see anything for 3 or 4 days.
We were taken to the house by one of her nephews. He showed us where the device is said to have landed. Samples have been taken from here and from the victims and sent to Britain, France, Turkey and America for testing. Later in the day, 4 patients were brought here to a hospital near the border. Dr. Juma treated them. They were put through decontamination and were given atropine to treat their symptoms. But it was too late for Mariam Khatib.
The symptoms she displayed, unconsciousness, vomiting, pinpoint pupils, they all correspond to poison gas exposure. They often match organophosphate poisoning. It has many derivatives, one of which is sarin gas. We had our doubts, but we can't be sure until we analyze it.
Mariam's house lies abandoned, the family too afraid to return. A British chemical expert has looked at the material and what happened here and says there's strong but incomplete evidence a nerve agent was used. But it doesn't show who's responsible. And for people like Mohammed, the real issue isn't how people were killed, it's death itself. And what they say is the indifference of the world to their plight. Ian Pannell, BBC News, in Sarakeb.
Disturbing report there, and the cameraman for that report, Darren Conway. Now, here's a cricket question for you. If you saw a towel hanging by a bowler's waist or a batsman shake his wristwatch, would you think anything was amiss? Well, according to the Indian authorities, 3 of the country's Premier League players have used secret signals like those to manipulate matches. 3 have been arrested, along with 9 bookmakers. It's far from the first time that those sort of allegations have touched the IPL. We'll have more on that later with the founder of the IPL.
Click into the world of film, art, style and music. Be immersed in a world connected by culture. Visit bbc.com/culture.
We envision a future where all people can share their knowledge, their experiences, and inspire one another to keep pushing our world forward. This means working together to overcome obstacles, looking beyond the limits that others have set, and having the determination to achieve things together that we could never achieve alone. We are Qatar Foundation and FC Barcelona, and passion drives us all.
Now, cricket's always had a bit of a problem. Some people think it is one of the most boring things to watch in the world, like watching paint dry, only slower. Well, the Indian Premier League and cricket changed all that with the way that it is so exciting, it's riveting, and it is fast. But has it got problems with corruption after the arrest of these three cricketers today? Well, Lalit Modi is the man who founded the IPL, and he's with me now. How concerned were you when you heard that there had been these arrests?
John, very, very concerned this morning. When I got up this morning, my Twitter feed, my emails, my telephone missed calls were like, it was all over the place, and I all of a sudden didn't know what was happening. And when I got into it and I saw that 3 of the cricketers had been apprehended by the Delhi police, it was very, very disturbing. Disturbing for the fact that the ICC was caught sleeping, and they had no idea about it. The BCCI had no idea about it, and this has been going on for over a month.
And these are the international bodies that regulate cricket?
BCCI is the Indian body, and the ICC is the international body, and they have an anti-corruption unit. And the thing that was disturbing to me most was that this has been going on for over a month, and still the Delhi police had to inform the IPL and the BCCI and the ICC about it.
There are huge temptations, as we've seen, for cricketers to do things that may not throw matches, but it may be that you bowl 2 no balls in 1 over or something like that.
Rightly, there are, and you've got to understand the level of betting in India. Illegal betting is to the tune of close to about $1 billion a game. billion pounds a game, so it's a large amount of...
A game?
A game, and not the season, but a game. So it's a large amount of betting. And when you have large amount of betting in any sport, and you have betting across the world in every sport pretty much, there tends to be a tendency always to try and find a loophole. And always you target the players. Everywhere in every sport you try and do it. Most are resistant to it, and most try not to do it, and they're very well paid. Some are lured into it, as we have seen in the past, and we hoped that it won't happen in everything, but it's happening day in and day out.
Because the interesting thing about the IPL is it's fantastically well funded, and you attract, the best cricketers from around the world because it is so lucrative, and you would think there's no need to take...
Yeah, but John, again, it's the level of greed, I would think. Bookmakers are always, with the level of betting being so high, the bookmakers would always try and lure you into the net. The job of the administrator should be, and has been in the past, to be vigilant of that, have heavy deterrent, and ensure that these kind of things don't happen. But betting takes place everywhere. Everybody around the world, you've seen it in tennis, you've seen it in football, you've seen it in other sports around the world. But you
see, I understand that you bet on the outcome of a game, that Manchester United are going to beat Chelsea 3-1. That's clear. But why would you take a bet that in the 15th over, the bowler is going to bowl a wide? You know that's dodgy.
Currently, globally, in every sport, the odds, because of the internet, are starting to change to a minute-to-minute basis. And spot fixing has become the order of the day. No longer it's called match fixing in any sport. It's all about letting a goal here, or in tennis, letting one particular game go. It's all about that now, because the bookmakers have found a unique way of making money. The punters have found a unique way of betting and making money, very large amount of money. They're playing large amount of bets, and that's the problem. And that's the problem you and I can't fix. That's the problem. That's not going to go away. Bookmakers are not going away. Betting is not going away. And fixing is not going to go away. All we've got to ensure is that the deterrent is so heavy, like the penalty imposed by the British courts on the players. It was a big deterrent, putting them in jail and taking stern action.
And you would like to see the same in India?
Without doubt.
If
they're found guilty.
If they're found guilty.
Without doubt. But the problem lies further. The problem lies with the fact that the anti-corruption units have to be also there doing their duty. you have to ensure that the players are not incentivized in any manner to take the bait.
Well, fascinating. Thank you so much, Lily Modi, for coming in to talk about this with us. Really interesting to have you with us. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you for having me on your show.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Now, earlier, a few moments ago, we saw Ian Pannell's disturbing report from Syria of evidence of an alleged chemical attack that took place in the north of the country last month. Well, one of the most difficult tasks is working out exactly what has happened, what can be verified, particularly in terms of all those videos that we're given. The BBC has sent material. How do you make sure it's real? Well, Mohanad Hashim is from the BBC's Middle East monitoring team. They work on verifying material as it comes in and is in our monitoring base in Caversham in Reading. So just when we get this sort of video, what do you do? Because there must be so much of it that, you know, how do you distinguish what is propaganda and what is reality?
First of all, let's make it quite clear to your audiences that we have no way of independently verifying any of the user-generated content that arrives to us. We have some techniques, call them checks and balances, that we try to look out for example, trying to see, first of all, if a video that claims to be of an incident that took place on X day is corroborated with material that is coming from the agencies, activist reports on social media, or from our competitors, in this case in the Pan-Arab media, what the Pan-Arab big TV channels are going with. Then you can try and find out, for example, if the videos that you're watching match particular weather reports taking on the day. You can try and access softwares or websites where you can try and trace back when these videos were uploaded, if they were shared across wide social media platforms, the names of locations, if there are any pictures or images that are discernible, if there are signposts that have telephone numbers, names. So we really are trying to do some sort of a forensic operation based on our editorial judgment and trying to go through it as thoroughly as we can as desk journalists based in the UK.
OK, Mohanad, we're going to leave it there because you've explained it so well, but thank you very much indeed for being with us. I'm sure a lot of viewers would have been fascinated just how we determine what is real and what we can trust before we put it on our screens. Thanks very much indeed for explaining that so clearly to us. Now, we've been focusing on Google throughout Global today, and I'm pleased to say I'm joined now by the lucky man who's been trying on the Google glasses, our technology correspondent, Rory Kethland-Jones. Rory, and you've still got a pair with you. Are you bringing them home with you?
They're not going to let me take them away, I'm afraid, John. I've been playing around with them whenever I can. I've just turned them on now. OK, glass, take a picture. And, yeah, it's taken a picture over there, which I'll post you later, John, to show you where I am. So it is an intriguing experience. The internet coming to me in a little screen above my eye. Actually looks quite a big screen from here. It's still very much a work in progress. It's a bit clunky. I look a bit dorky in them, I'm sure you'll agree. But the big excitement around here about this project is this could be the beginning of something big in terms of wearable computing. This may not be the device that takes people into that new world, but it's seen as a kind of pathfinder for the rest of the industry.
And could you envisage yourself using that? I mean, yeah, with refinements, it's got, you know, it's less clunky and all the rest of it.
I really can. If you are out on the street, lots of people you see walking down the street these times in a kind of slightly maddening way, peering at their smartphones all the time, getting directions. I can see that if I were walking down the street, I can just say, glass, give me directions to the Golden Gate Bridge, and it'll read it out into my ear. You can't see it. I'm seeing a map, and it's taking me to the Golden Gate Bridge without the intervention of me having to look at a screen. So I can see applications, and all the developers here are working on applications for this. The New York Times, for instance, has already got something which puts the news headlines in your eye once an hour. So there will be uses for